Good evening, my friends and my lecturer, Mr. Adi Musali. It is a pleasure to meet you again. First of all, I would like to introduce myself to all of you. My full name is Stephen. My student number is B1024151014. I am majoring in finance. I must take OB in this semester because it is one of the subjects in semester 5. Based on my presentation of my chapter, I get the type A questions. These type A questions consist of 4 parts. In this golden opportunity, I would like to answer the type A questions of OB final short term exam. Please listen to my answers and give comment of my answer by giving the opinion and the score. Well, let me begin now. Part A. In this part, you are to answer the following questions related to OB lecturers. Question number 1. What department do you take? Why should you study organizational behavior? How important is OB for the students of marketing, finance, and human resource management? Give examples. I am taking finance department because it is my interest. The reason why I should study organizational behavior is because as a student, I will understand and know how to behave in front of my lecturer and my friends. In one of the material of organization behavior, I learned about motivation. So as a student, I learn organizational behavior to know how to motivate myself in attending the class. If I have a high motivation in attending the class, then I expect that my performance in class will increase, and in the end, resulting that I get good grade. So that's why OB is very important for the students of marketing, finance, and human resource management, as it will help a lot in performance of the students. For example, there is a student that if you are diligent, then you will get a good grade. Then the student will be more motivated to be diligent for the subject. Question number 2. What books are used in OB lecture? Mention their titles, their authors, their pages, their contents, and their benefits to you as a student and as a manager. The book that I used in OB lecture titled Organizational Behavior Edition 15. The authors are Stephen Robbins and Timothy Judge. The book has 711 pages and has 18 chapters. Some of the chapters explaining about the definition of organizational behavior, diversity, attitudes, emotions, and motivation concepts and application, leadership, organizational culture, and others. The benefit of this book for me as a student is of course to help me easy to understand all the subjects that related with organizational behavior. This book has a complete explanation and examples in each chapter and also has summary of each chapter. Then the benefit for this book for me as a manager is to learn how to behave as a manager in the organization and to know how to deal with my employees that have different behavior, so that as a manager can lead the employees to achieve all the organization goals effectively and efficiently. Question number 3. How many times are you absent from attending the OB lecture? Why? I am never absent from attending the OB lecture because I think that the subject is really important for me. I will never absent from a class as long as I am not in an urgent situation such as sick or have another important activity. I don't like to be absent from a class because I will not get the knowledge from the lecture of that day. Question number 4. Please compare the 3 ebooks posted on OB group on Facebook or on WhatsApp. As I have mentioned before in question number 2, I used OB book written by Stephen Robbins. There are 2 other books that used in OB lecture. First, I will compare with the book written by Dalkar. Dalkar book has less pages than Stephen Robbins book, which is only 371 pages. For the content, this book has more chapters, which has 20 chapters. The design of the book is very simple compared to Stephen Robbins book. Then the other book is written by Angelo Fonicki and friends. This book has 364 pages and it contains only 10 chapters compared to the other 2 books. The design of the book is very colorful with many pictures, just like Stephen Robbins' book. The last comparison is the benefit from the three books. For Stephen Robbins and Kondakar book, it gives more benefits because it contains many chapters. As for the Angelo and Friends book, it gives less benefit because it contains less chapters. Question number 5. Mention the topics presented by your friends after the midterm test, and what do the topics tell you and explain their benefits. After the midterm, the presentation starts from chapter 10 until chapter 19. So let's get started. Chapter 10 is about understanding work teams presented by Susi and Alifa. In this chapter, I learned about the difference between group and team. Group is two or more individuals that interacting and interdependent who have come together to achieve particular objective. Meanwhile, team is two or more individuals that interacting and dependent each other in order to achieve common goals. Work group is more sharing the information and more individual in working. Meanwhile, work team is more collecting information and has mutual relationship. Chapter 11 is about communication presented by Salvatore and Paradiba. In this chapter, I learned about the importance of communicating in the organization. There are four major functions of communication within a group or organization. They are control, motivation, emotional expression, and information. Communication can be used to control the behavior of the employees. Communication also can be used to motivate employees because communication clarifies what employees must do. Then communication can be used to express emotions such as anger, joy, or anxiety. Then the last is communication is used to deliver information that is useful in decision-making process. Chapter 12 is about leadership presented by Aziz and Gadis. In this chapter, I learned the definition of leadership. So leadership is the ability to influence a group toward the achievement of a set of goals. Then there are three model theory of leadership. First is the model that stated that key factor in leadership success depend on the match between the leadership style and the situation given. Then the second model is situational leadership theory, which stated that the success of the leadership is in the followers. Then the last model is particle model, which stated that the key success of leadership is the leader should provide the follower with information necessary to achieve the goal. Chapter 13 is about power and politics presented by Winda and Pugan. In this chapter, I learned that power is a capacity to influence someone else to act in accordance with the influencer wishes. Power and politics in the organization cannot be avoided because in reality, everyone using their power and politics to achieve their goals. Power and politics not always bad as everybody thinks if it is used in a fair amount. By implementing a good power and politics in the organization, someone can get what they want and can become an effective employee or manager. Next, chapter 14 is about conflict and negotiation presented by Stella and Winnie. In this chapter, I learned about the definition of conflict and negotiation. Conflict is the process that begins when one party perceives another party has or is about to negatively affect something the first party cares about. There are 5 conflict handling intentions. They are competing, avoiding, compromising, collaborating, and accommodating. Meanwhile, negotiation is the process of making joint decisions when the parties involved have different preferences. There are some factors that should be considered in making an effective negotiation. They are quality, harmony, and the last is efficiency. Chapter 15 is about foundation of organization structure presented by Kevin and Kevin Lam. In this chapter, I learned about the organization structure is defined, how job tasks are formally divided, grouped, and coordinated. There are 6 key elements in designing the organization structure. They are work specialization, departmentalization, chain of command, span of control, centralization and decentralization, and formalization. Chapter 16 is about organizational culture, presented by Teguh and Devi. In this chapter, I learned about the definition of organizational culture. Organization culture is a belief based on a common perception by the individuals in the organization, which constitute common shared value. There are several types of organizational culture. First is dominant culture, which comprising the common shared values of most of the members of the organization. Then there is strong culture. In a strong culture, the organization's common shared values are not only widely shared, but also held with high intensity. Strong culture has a high degree of influence the behavior of the members. Chapter 17 is about human resource policies and practices presented by Nanda and Putri. In this chapter, I learned about how important human resource policies and practices. There are three main focus in this chapter. They are employee selection, training, and performance management. This can influence the organization and effectiveness. So the first is the selection process begin with applicant applies for the job. Then after that, we check whether the applicant meet the organization requirement. Then after that, we choose the best qualified applicants among those who meet basic qualifications. And the last, to make sure, we must check the other things such as drug test and background check. After the selection finished, then the organization must train this fresh employee in order to enhance their performance. Chapter 18 is about organizational change and stress management presented by Aksan and Elisa. In this chapter, I learned about how important for an organization to have a change in their management. No organization can avoid the change in their environment. There are some forces to change. They are nature of workplace, technology, economic shocks, competition, social trends, and the last is work politics. There are some ways to overcome the resistance of change. There are education, communication, participation, building commitment, and selecting people who accept change. Then the last, chapter 19, is about ABC behavior presented by Yulia and Yahya. In this chapter, I learned that ABC is stand for antecedent, behavior, consequence. Antecedent is happen before the behavior, and as the driver of the behavior. Behavior is what the person do in response with the antecedent. Then the last is the consequence, which happen after the behavior, and it is the result from the behavior itself. Okay. Next, question number 6. How do you find your OB lecture in this short-term course? How many chapters have been discussed? What benefit have you get from studying the chapter in OB, and how can you apply OB to your department you have taken? I think that OB lecture in this short-term course is interesting because I get the knowledge from the presentation of my friends. The reason why I think it is interesting is because of the way my friends presenting the material of each chapter. Sometimes they use simple words and some use examples to explain the chapter. And the chapter that have been discussed in OB lectures are 90 chapters. The benefits that I get in studying the chapter in OB are I know the motivation concept and how to apply it in my daily life. Then I also learn about how to act in good attitudes toward my lecturer as a student, and how to act differently in front of my friends because they have different behavior. The way I apply OB in my department is I act accordingly in good attitudes and manners, also being always motivated in attending the course. That way I expect to have high performance. That's for part A. Now let's move to part B. In this part, you are to answer the following general OB questions. Your answer must be supported with the videos on OB group on Facebook and mention how many videos support your answer. So to answer the following questions, at least I watched 2 videos. Let's start with question number 1. What is ABC of behavior? How is the ABC of behavior applied in your study in university, in your life at home, and how does manager apply the ABC of behavior to his employees? ABC of behavior is an analysis that looks at what happens before, during, and after a target behavior occurs. The way I apply ABC of behavior in university is by understanding the antecedent that given by the lecturer in order to get a positive consequence from me. In my life at home, I try to get what my parents give the antecedent for me so that I can do what my parents desire. And the last is manager can apply the ABC of behavior to his or her employees by giving an instruction or direction to the employees so that the employees will behave as the managers want in order to achieve the goal effective and efficient. Question number 2. What is ABC analysis? Why is it important? ABC analysis is an analysis that looks at what happens before, during, and after a target behavior occurs. ABC analysis is important because it helps the manager to understand what is the reason behind his or her employee's behavior and know what is the consequences of the employee's behavior. This can help the manager to make an antecedent that result in good behavior of his or her employees. Then question number 3, is stress good or bad to you? How do you manage your stress? Feeling stressed can be perfectly normal, especially during exam time. You might notice that sometimes being stressed out motivates you to focus on your work. Yet at other times, you feel incredibly overwhelmed and cannot concentrate on anything. While stress affects everyone in different ways, there are two major types of stress. Stress that beneficial and motivating, which is a good stress, and stress that causes anxiety and even health problems, which is a bad stress. So stress sometimes can be motivating, but sometimes can cause health problems. Depend on the situation. I manage my stress just like the other people do, such as playing games, watching TV, going out, or go sleep. But if the stress cannot be overcome in that way, I will just ignore the thing that makes me stress. Next, question number 4. What is organizational culture? Why does it matter to you and manager in a company? Organization culture is a belief based on a common perception by the individual in the organization which constitute common shared values. It is very important for me because it is one of the subjects that I learned as a student, so I need to understand it well. For a manager in a company, organizational culture is important because it will help the manager in leading its employees. Organizational culture can help in creating work commitment for the employees, shaping the good behavior for the employee, and define which is must do and must not do in the organization. Then, next, question number 5. There are 4 types of customers. Mention and explain them. How do the 4 types of customer behave when they buy something, and how do you sell something to them? What type of customer are you according to 4 types of customers? So the first type is the director, which is the type that very demanding. This type of customer want the best possible product at the lowest possible price, and they don't care about other people's interests. They will find the facts about the products they want to buy and then make a decision whether to buy it or not. To sell products to this type of customer is by less talking and give the facts about the products. The second type is the analytical, which the type of customer that will find out all the data about the product before making a decision to buy the product. They will find the facts, details, product description, and customer service information. To sell the product to this type of customer is by giving them facts and data. Then the third type is the relator, which is the type has a strong need to feel part of a group. The store becomes part of their network. These people are usually 3 calls away from getting anything they want. To sell product to this type of customer is by serving as well as possible and make a friendship with this customer. Then the last type is the socializer, which is the type that are outgoing, love to talk, and love to make new friends. The socializer wants to build relationship with people who work in the store. Socializer want to build friendships. If you talk to them like an analytical with facts and figures, they will shut right down. As similar as they might be to the relator, loyalty is not as important to the socializer. If they can develop friendships in several different stores, then they will go to several different stores. Socializer love to receive and give compliments. However, they tend to be self-centered. They want to go to a store where they are made to feel important. To sell product to this type of customer is by develop a strong relationship with them. And I think that I am the analytical type of customer because when I want to buy a product, I will look the data of the product, such as the nutrition information and the expiry date. Then question number 6. How can I become a morning person? I feel it is a key to success. There are many ways to become a morning person. First is we can get more sleep so that we can wake up early in the morning. The second is by getting up at the same time every day. By doing this, we will be get used to wake at the same time and we don't need alarm clock. Third way is workout in the morning. By doing this, such as jogging, will remove the toxin in your body and make your body healthier. The last thing to do is to become a morning person is always have something to look forward to, which means that we must have a structured schedule so that we will know what time to wake up in the morning and what time to sleep at night. Question number 7. How do you manage conflict happening among your employees at work? If I am a manager that supervises my employees work in an organization, then when a conflict is occurred in the organization, that is when the supervisor should involve in solving the conflict. The supervisor becomes conflict resolver when the policy is broken, the involved party performance starts to suffer, and when the climate gets so bad that morale begins to suffer. As a conflict resolver, supervisor should become a mediator that is neutral. As a supervisor, I should judge the conflict based on the facts, not based on my interest or based on my emotion towards the employees. And I should not take sides because it will just satisfy one side. I should make a result that will satisfy all the conflict parties so that the conflict will not harm the organization. Question number 8. What is ABC model of behavior? Mention and explain the component of ABC model of behavior. How do you apply the ABC model of behavior as a student in a university, a child in your family, an employee at workplace, and a manager in a company? The ABC model of behavior is a model of behavior that analyzes what happened before, during, and after a target behavior occurred. There are 3 components in ABC model of behavior. They are antecedent, behavior, and consequence. Antecedent happen before the behavior and act as the driver of the behavior of someone. Then after the antecedent has been set, then the behavior will occur based on the antecedent. Behavior explaining the event happen in specific, detail, and objective. After the behavior takes place, the next is the consequence from the behavior itself. Consequence is the response toward the behavior. Consequence can be in a good result or bad result depending on the behavior of that person. Then the way I applied ABC behavior in university is by understanding the antecedent that's given by the lecturer in order to get a positive consequence for me. In my life at home, I try to get what my parents give the antecedent for me so that I can do what my parents desire. As an employee, I apply the ABC model of behavior by understanding the antecedent given by my manager at workplace or from my work partner so that me and my partner can do the job instructed by the manager. And the last is as a manager, I can apply the ABC of behavior to my employees by giving an instruction or direction to the employees so that the employees will behave as the managers want in order to achieve the goal effective and efficient. And then that's for part B. Then move to part C. In this part, you are to find the videos for the following topics by using YouTube and explain who is the speaker, the content of the talk and video, the benefits of the talk to you and manager. First topic is organizational culture. The speaker of the video is Karapur. Organization culture is a belief based on common perception by the individuals in the organization, which constitute common shared values. There are several types of organizational culture. First is dominant culture, which compromising the common shared values of most of the members of the organization. Then there is strong culture. In a strong culture, the organization common shared value are not only what we share, but also held with high intensity. Strong culture has a high degree of influence the behavior of the members. There are 5 functions of culture. First is as boundary defining role. Second, give the sense of identity. Third, it helps the people in the organization to develop a commitment. Fourth function is implicit do and don't to the employee. The last function is it gives meaning to the appropriate behavior by shaping the attitudes of people. Then second topic is leadership. The speaker of the video is Sarah Morse. So leadership is the ability to influence an individual or group towards the achievement of goals. This includes motivating employees, directing others, selecting the most effective communication channels, and resolving conflict. There are three models of leadership. First is filler model, which stated that the key factor of a successful leadership is in the individual basic leadership style. Second model is hot path goal theory of leadership, which stated that it is the leader's job to assist employees in attaining their goals by providing direction. Then the last model is Hershey-Blanchard situational leadership, which stated that leadership is based on situation and no single leadership style can be considered the best. The benefits of leadership for managers are to attract and retain talented employees and improve employee engagement. And then topic number 3 is conflict in the organization. The speaker of the video is representative from Utah Leadership Institute. Conflict is a process that begins when one party perceives another party has or is about to negatively affect something the first party cares about. When a conflict is occurred in the organization, that is when the supervisor should involve in solving the conflict. A supervisor becomes a conflict resolver when the policy is broken, when the involved party performance starts to suffer, and when the climate gets so bad that morale begins to suffer. As a conflict resolver, supervisors will become a mediator that is neutral. There are 5 conflict handling intentions. They are competing, avoiding, compromising, collaborating, and accommodating. Then, topic number 4 is negotiating. The speaker of the video is Michael Nugan. Negotiation is the process of making joint decisions when the party involved has different preferences. There are some factors that should be considered in making an effective negotiation. First is quality, which means that negotiation result that is wise and satisfactory to all sides. Second is harmony, which means that negotiation is harmonious and fostered. The last factor is efficiency, which means the negotiation is not time-consuming or costly. Then there are 4 types of negotiation. There are two-party negotiation, group negotiation, intergroup negotiation, and the last is constituency negotiation. Then the 5th topic is type of employees. The speaker of the video is John Greathouse. There are 4 types of employees according to the video. First is superstar employee that has characteristics of low maintenance and high productivity. Second type is farm team that has characteristics of younger, needs slight maintenance with potential productivity. The third type is diverse employee that has characteristics of high maintenance and low productivity. And the last type is prima donna that has characteristics of high maintenance and high productivity. Then topic number 6 is type of lecturers. Speaker of the video is Stephanie Gallon. Based on the video, there are 5 types of lecturer. First is the inspiration lecturer, which is the type of the lecture that is fun and make you want to learn. This lecturer knows everything and passionate toward what the lecturer do. Second type is the feedback expert, which is the type of lecturer that spend hours in our work. Every student for this lecturer is important, and the lecturer will give detailed breakdown of the student's work. The third type is the tough maker, which is the type of lecturer that want perfection for every student. This lecturer will make students work harder, but this lecturer will help the student that want to learn. The fourth type is the honest one, which is the type of lecturer that will give a honest comment on the student work. So if you as a student want to know whether your work is good or not, you can ask this type of the lecturer for the comment, because this lecturer will give you an honest answer. The last type is the lifeguard lecturer, which is the lecturer that always willing help to the students and always have something that can help the students. This lecturer know when the students are in trouble and know how to save them. Then topic number 7 is type of customer. The speaker of the video is Kim Peril. Based on the video, there are 5 types of customer. First is suspect customer, which is the customer that have a need but doesn't aware that we have the product or service provided for them. Second type is prospect customer which have a need and aware that we as a company provide the product or service the customers need. Third type is new customer, which is we as the seller sell our product to this customer, but sometimes this type of customer is easily forgotten. The fourth type is loyal customer, which is the customer that always come back to buy our product or service after the first purchase. Then the last type is advocate customer, which is the customer that have emotional connection with the brand of the product, the company, and the employee, and will personally recommend our products to others if we have a good emotional connection. That's it for the part C. And then we move to last part, is part B. In this part, you are to answer the questions related to OB group on Facebook and WhatsApp. Question number 1. How many videos are posted on OB group on Facebook, and mention what the videos talk about? How many videos have you watched on OB group and on Facebook? Mention the titles, the content on the video you have watched, and are the video beneficial to you? Why? I don't count how many videos were posted on OB group on Facebook because it is too many. But I have watched at least 6 videos from the Facebook group. First video is about organizational citizenship behavior. OCB is a perspective that employees have whereby they extend the behavior beyond the normal duties of their position. The work behavior can be seen in raw and extra raw behavior. A high extra raw behavior means a high OCB. High OCB related to high performance and less need for hierarchical control. There are 5 common types of OCB, which are altruism, courtesy, sportsmanship, conscientiousness, and the last is civic virtue. The example of OCB are helping others on one work team, volunteering for extra activities, and avoiding unnecessary conflict. Second video is about organizational change management. Every company that have become big might want to have a change in the company. Some of the factors that make a change in the company are major acquisition, privatization, commerce, and digital convergence. Change is a process that can be enabled and must be linked to business and performance goals. An effective process requires a systemic view of the organization and must involve both organization and personal transition. But the company that wants to change must consider the constraints from its individual and organization. Individual constraints from change are habit, economic factor, job security, fear of the unknown, and selective information processing. Organizational constraints from change are threat to establish power relationship, threat to establish resource allocation, structural inertia, limited focus of change, and group inertia. Third video is about organizational culture. Organizational culture is a system of shared meaning held by members that distinguish the organization from other organizations. There are 7 characteristics of organizational culture. They are innovation and risk-taking, attention to detail, outcome orientation, people orientation, team orientation, aggressiveness, and the last is stability. To create the culture, it starts from the founders. Founders create culture in 3 ways. First is by hiring and keeping that who think and feel the same way they do. Second is indoctrinating and socializing the employee to their way of thinking and feeling. And the last is acting as a role model and encouraging employees to identify with them. Fourth video is about corporate social responsibility. CSR is the continuing commitment by businesses to behave ethically and contribute to economic development while improving the quality of life of the workforce and their families, local communities, and the society at large. CSR requires companies to acknowledge that they should be publicly accountable not only for their financial performance, but also for their social and environmental record. CSR should promote human rights, democracy, community improvement, and sustainable development objectives throughout the world. This video is about conflict in the organization. Conflict is a process that begins when one party perceives another party has negatively affect something the party cares about. When a conflict is occurred in the organization, that is when the supervisor should involve in solving the conflict. A supervisor becomes a conflict suffer when the policy is broken and when the performance is start to suffer. As a conflict resolver, supervisor should become a mediator that is neutral and not taking side to one employee because it will harm the organization. Then there are 5 conflict handling intentions. They are competing, avoiding, compromising, collaborating, and accommodating. 6th video is about negotiation. Negotiation is the process of making joint decision when the parties involved have different preferences. There are some factors that should be considered in making effective negotiation. First is quality, which negotiation result is wise and satisfactory to all sides. Second is harmony, which means that negotiation is harmonious and fostered. The last factor is efficiency, which means that negotiation is not time-consuming or costly. Then there are 4 types of negotiation. There are two-party negotiation, group negotiation, intergroup negotiation, and the last is constituency negotiation. Question number 2. How many articles are posted on FB, OB group, and WhatsApp? What do they talk about? How many articles have you read and what lesson can you get from reading an article? There are many articles that were posted in OB group on Facebook. Some of them talking about behavioral finance, development in work, justice to OB, evolution of managerial, behavior and attitude, individual performance, leadership style, abusing behavior, and others. I, at least, have read 4 articles. The lessons that I get from the articles are: first, I know the relationship between attitudes and behavior. Our attitudes will determine our behavior. So if we have bad attitudes, then we will likely have bad behavior. And if we have good attitudes, then we will likely have good behavior. The second is I learned about leadership. Leadership is the ability to influence other people act in order to achieve the desired goal. The third is about consumer behavior. When buying a product, sometimes consumers showing their behavior in making decisions to buy or not to buy the product. There are many factors that influence the behavior, such as price, quality, brand, lifestyle, culture, social status, education, preference, perception, customer service, and others. The last is about the relationship between leadership and personality. Certain personality traits are positively related to leader effectiveness and team performance. These personality traits include urgency, emotional stability, conscientiousness, and agreeableness. And then last question number 3. How many questions did you see on OB group on WA? Have you first record your answer to all the questions on WhatsApp? Why? What are your answers to the question? What about the result of your personality test given in WhatsApp? Describe your personality. If I am not mistaken, there are more than 20 questions in WhatsApp. I just answered 3 questions. First question is, how do you motivate yourself to get work done after trying many things and failing over and over again? My answer is, I will try another method that I think that will make my work done, or I can ask advice from someone that has experience in that work. And if that method is not work, then I will just ignore it for temporary time and will start again on the right time. Second question is, how can I become a morning person? My answer is, to become a morning person, I will get more sleep so that I can wake up early. Also, I can do morning exercise to make my body healthy. And the last is by making a structured schedule. And the last question is, why motivation one of the most important factor in any job application? My answer is, motivation become one of the most important factor in job application because motivation will influence the applicants to choose the job that they think based on their interest and based on their expectation. If the job application offers great benefits to the applicant, then it will motivate them more in applying for the job. And now, move to the personality test. First, based on the type A or B personality test, my personality is type B. So I am a person that lives at a lower stress level and typically works steadily, enjoying achievement but not becoming stressed when they are not achieved. I may be creative and enjoy exploring ideas and concepts. And then, The result of my personality based from the Psychological Today website is I have a mixed attribution style when it comes to my success. Sometimes I interpret my success as a result of my skill, intelligence, nice personality, etc. But other times I attribute it to external factors such as luck, ease of task, or other people's help. Then the last, the result of my personality from the 16 personalities website is I am a defender type of personality. I am an introvert when interact with the environment. I am also an observant person. Then the trait that determine how I make decisions is my feeling. I am more using judging approach to work and planning. And the last, I am an assertive person. Well, my friends, that's all my answer. I hope that you can understand my answer and can benefit you. I thank you very much for your attention and watching my video. I am very happy if you can give comment to my answers. See you.